Conversations with them two. Voice of the people, the crew for you. Culture, creativity, knowledge, hope, opportunity, bring the light of minds. We shine, we break on through. Conversations with them two. Culture, creativity, knowledge, hope, opportunity. Your voice matters, your gift shine through. Conversations with them two. Yeah. You are the stage. Shine.
Yo, family, what's happening? Welcome to another powerful edition of Conversations with Them Two. We are the Shenanigans Crew. I'm your guy, MJ, and tonight we are bringing another conversation that's real, inspiring, and guaranteed to make you think a little bit deeper. Just a little bit.
Hey, everybody, and I'm your girl, Lady Des. Y'all already know what we do. Good energy, good laughs, and meaningful conversations with people who truly make a difference in the world around them.
You know, and it's funny that you mentioned the world because that's part of what we're going to be talking about tonight. Tonight's guest is a visionary, a storyteller, entrepreneur, definitely a bridge builder to those. His work has impacted communities from South Florida all the way to the continent of Africa.
Africa. Yes, he is the director of BICEP, the Blindfolded International Student and Culture Exchange Program, the creator of the documentary Blindfolded, How They Hid My Heritage from Me. And
your family and friends, I want you to show some love and welcome my friend, my brother, the one and only Mr. Edwin Sheppard. What up? What up?
Hey, Edwin.
All right. Edwin, all right. What did you hit?
Edwin, where are you?
Can you, because I lost you guys. I can't hear you.
Wow. Okay.
Go out and come back in.
We can hear you, but we can't see you. He can't. Hey, MJ, he can't even hear us.
Okay, sign language.
I can't see him though. Can you see him?
You know, I can't see him. I can't see nothing but you, friend.
Oh my goodness. I don't know what happened to Edwin.
Okay, so how about this? How about you get our producer to kick him out, and then I'm sure he'll join back in.
Okay, we'll do that.
So while we do that, you know, it's really exciting to see you since you are 49 and you'll never be 49 again.
Don't I look like? Well, not look 49, but
oh yeah, you do. Like yeah, you look 49. Every bit of it.
I ain't studying you. What you look like? Edwin, are you there? Oh no, okay, he's gone. So what did you do for your birthday?
Man, listen, I spent time with family and friends, and I probably picked up about 20 pounds eating and, you know, just enjoying another chapter, another day. Some people, you know, I'm really grateful because I was looking at Facebook today, and some people who are not quite as seasoned as us, younger folks, you know, didn't get the opportunity this morning to wake up and tell God thank you, or to smile and hug a child or something like that. So, you know, just being able to embrace another year is, life changing itself.
Absolutely. And I said this on the video, MJ. I've never been 49 before.
And you will never be 49 again. You'll be 149
again. So I got to make this year count, right? And
make every second count.
Edwin, we got you back.
Yes. What did you hit? You hit something. It wasn't me because my hands was free. I don't know what happened.
I don't know because you the screen went black, but we could hear you, but we just couldn't see you.
Okay.
So I don't know what happened. So listen, MJ, just go ahead and do his intro over.
All right. So tonight's guest is a visionary, a storyteller, entrepreneur, and a bridge builder whose work has impacted communities all the way from the MIA all the way to the continent of Africa.
Africa. Yes, and he is the director of BICEP, Blinded International Student and Culture Exchange Program. And he is also, MJ, the creator of the documentary Blindfolded, How They Hid My Heritage From Me. And listen, y'all in for a ride. Y'all are in for a treat.
And listen, family, when we say Africa, we don't mean Wakanda. We mean Africa, the real Africa. So, family and friends, I want you to show some love and welcome my friend, the one and only Mr. Edwin Sheppard. What up? And there he is again.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
we can hear you. We just can't see you.
Really? Is that on you guys then, or is it on?
It sounds like it could be your Wi-Fi.
Like
I do not know what's going on. I hope that's not on my end.
Did you hear the intro though?
Yeah, and then when you went, he disappeared. That's the second time.
Okay, so I'm just gonna sit quiet. So
it's too late now.
Me, MJ. You're blaming me.
No, I'm just saying you 49 and you'll never be 49 again.
There we go.
All right. So can you hear us now? Edwin.
I wonder is he seeing us?
All right. Can you guys hear me? I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear us.
You, but you can't hear us.
All right,
I'm gonna log.
Yeah, log back out. Log back out.
And I'm gonna log out and come back in.
Okay.
This is your fault, Des.
Why are you blaming me? You blame me for everything.
No, listen. I said, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Edwin Sheppard, and you went. And the second time, it did it again. I'm
just celebrating him for being on the show again.
I know, but you're gonna have to use your Wi-Fi voice, not your outside voice.
So so you're saying that I'm scaring him?
I'm saying your high pitch is disrupting Wi-Fi all over the world.
I'm hoping it's not on my end. I really hope, because I don't know. I hear you guys fine, and I don't know if it's like a glitch that happens. So let's hope we can stay on.
Yes. Okay, all go ahead.
So I was just gonna say, I'm not gonna do the whole intro again because
no.
She screamed.
It's fine.
She screamed, you get kicked out. So I'm blaming her for it. So, sir, welcome back to Conversations with Them Too.
It's an honor. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys. Thank you for inviting me back.
Most definitely. So let's talk about your entire career, because it seems to be centered around people, culture, and connection.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you get the passion for bringing people together? Where did that first come from?
Oh my God. Where did it first come from? And it came from a loss of a friend. Way back in, I want to say 2003. It was the pastor of our church youngest daughter. He had six children, and his daughter passed in a car accident in March of 2003. And so I remember the funeral very vividly. I remember it was like a movie. It was just, everything was just slow motion. I just remember seeing all of these faces and just being like, man, I remember not having an opportunity to like really talk to everybody because we were all mourning. And then I just said to myself, man, it's, as a young person, this is not the only way that I would just want to see, my friends. And so I think 2 years after her passing, I planned this whole reunion, this whole church reunion. And that moment I was able to get. I think I put an invitation of 100 people that I grew up with in that church, and like 99 people came. And so that's what inspired me to start bringing people together. So that was way back in 2003. I never get asked that question much, so it kind of it kind of took me back when you asked. But that's the reason it started from that point in time.
Absolutely. And a lot of people get comfortable being in their own lane. So you have evolved from hospitality into entertainment. You've done
Hmm.
film, and you are noted very highly for your international cultural work. Were you always fearless about trying new things? Because one year you did 50 states in 50 days, or
Yeah.
50 before 50. You know, have any of those moments ever made you or gave you doubts along the way?
Um, the idea, I never have doubts about the idea. I guess when you get to those, when you put it into fruition and you start to hit those, rough patches, you tend to doubt because, sometimes you try to figure out, well, how am I going to get this? Am I going to be able to reach that person? But I never have doubt. Once I say I want to do something, I do it. And I always do my best to try to, show the impact of what I'm doing, and so there's never a doubt once my mind is set. But with challenges and stuff like that, I've dealt with some difficult challenges in planning, through the years, and I've been doing this since 2003, like bringing people together. And it was basically a passion for me to do it. It wasn't something that I said, hey, I'm gonna just start doing events. It was just a passion because I thoroughly enjoyed seeing people together, especially people I know, and just seeing. And sometimes I'll step back and I'll just watch everybody just enjoy each other and have the moment. And that's what I want to see. That's what I always want to see, even till this date. I haven't changed.
Wow.
Welcome back, Des.
Listen, y'all just don't know what was going on behind the scenes. I was having
Uh-huh.
a major
Wardrobe
uh
malfunction?
I didn't even know MJ, but I heard everything. I did hear everything.
Okay, great.
And you know what? And bringing people together is just so awesome, Edwin. Your entire career has been centered around people and culture and
I did that.
connection
I did that.
and everything.
Hmm.
So a lot of people stay comfortable in one lane, but you have evolved, like MJ said. What was what was the business that guides you today? What is that? It is how all of that is implemented that guided you where you are today. And then talk about your documentary, Blindfolded.
Well, the business, when I started bringing people together, I was bringing so many people together that a classmate told me, "Hey, you can make some money doing this. Don't do it," because I was really doing it for the sake. Did my class reunion, and didn't ask anybody for anything outside of how much they needed to pay for the reunion fees and stuff like that. And so my classmate was like, "Hey, you can get paid by doing this, and I would invest in you." And when he said the word invest, that's
Mm,
when it didn't move me when he said I could make money from doing it, but when he said I would invest in you, that was like a thing, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe I need to look at this seriously. So I started to do relationship. This is before the whole podcast and everything. This is before the Derek Jacksons. I was doing my own thing right here in South Florida and was packing out shows. This is 2011, 2012, that I was just bringing people together. And that's pretty much what inspired just me bringing people and putting a little money in my pocket. And then I just started to evolve. I realized the whole relationship thing just wasn't for me anymore. I think that the whole thing what happened with Trayvon Martin when I did his show, because the relationship shows was getting like so many people. And then when I had Sabrina Fulton didn't attend that show because it was the same year of his passing. But Tracy Martin, his father, did attend that show. And I didn't get the reception of that show the way I did the relationship shows. Like I was getting 200 people for relationships, and then I got 70 people for Trayvon Martin. And so I was like, it really hurt me because it's one of our community, kids, from Miami, went to Crop High School. And once that happened, I did away from the whole relationship panel, and I wanted to elevate, and I wanted to show that Edwin Sheppard was more than just the guy who does relationship panels. And so I stopped it. Like I just stopped, and then I just took a hiatus, and then I just kind of started doing other events. I started doing poetry, and then from poetry I did my talk show, The Final Say. And then that whole trip to Africa really changed everything for me. And so when people say, Africa can be life-changing, it has been life-changing. It has completely changed how I view things, how I view people, how I view our youth, both domestically and also internationally. And that's the reason why, I'm doing what I do for our young people today.
Well, you know what? Go ahead, MJ. I was going to say that was going to go right into our next question that we had for Edwin, because you said your travel to Africa changed your mindset. And I do know this. Sometimes travel changes the way we see ourselves. We see other people around us. And after visiting South Africa and Botswana, what did you learn about your identity, about your history, about connection that surprised you the most?
Wow. It was very eye-opening. I was received very, very well. I mean, I was really spoiled when I arrived in South Africa. I put in a lot of work prior to it. So I started networking with complete strangers while in South Florida, and I just reached out to everybody who had a huge following. And so whatever person that had a huge following, I would reach out to them. They thought I was a scammer. But you have this American scammer asking a whole bunch of questions, but they started to follow everything that I was doing. And it definitely was life-changing the way that I was accepted, and just being able to ask questions and get answers to see how, we view Africa, how Africa views us at that time that I went. And it was very, very impactful. And a lot of people ask me, while and you guys haven't seen the documentary, have you? Yeah, I have to. You've seen it?
Yes.
MJ? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So getting that feedback and seeing that, and being able to like sit back, because a lot of people were like, oh wow, I can't believe you just kind of sat there and listened to like these Africans say this about us. And I didn't, and the reason why I didn't say anything, because I didn't want to change the narrative. I didn't want my energy or something for me to say to change the authenticity of what those Africans in South Africa and Botswana were saying. I wanted them to be like raw and speak their truth. And it's one of the reasons why when you watch that documentary, I'm not interjecting in their conversation.
And another thing about you, Edwin, the whole process was you mentioned scammers earlier. The whole process that you documented was step by step. And for me, that was eye-opening, because everything you did for those people that were doubting you, it was right there in their faces. So what was one misconception that you'd like to dismiss about people having about the African culture or the African American experience that you hope your documentary helped challenge?
That we're a lot similar than we can give each other credit for, but there are a lot of differences there. The culture is completely different. And so there's a lot of things that I saw as far as, they still have in some parts, they still have like corporal punishment. Like you can still beat, a child, if they're misbehaving, which we've had when I'm old enough to say that, I went to school where, you would get a paddle. So that was a normal thing for myself, in the 80s, and seeing that, right now, and seeing, a kid get slapped in the back of the head, while misbehaving, which is normal there in a lot of schools and not normal here, because no, you can't even put your hand on a child. And so seeing that, it's very, very different. So even though with the similarities, there are a lot of differences. And I really feel that if we have more conversations like this, we would be able to understand each other. Because it took me a while to really, really understand, and I'm still learning. And so when I speak to like my board members and we have certain engagements, sometimes out of frustration, they're like, oh, well, why is this and why is that? And I'm like, hold on, I've dealt with this. This is how you have to deal with it. And you just kind of take it as it comes. But it's definitely a conversation that has to be had. I just recently came from Washington, D.C. last weekend, and had the opportunity to meet with one of my friends she's the education attaché at the embassy of Botswana in Washington, D.C., and we were having the same exact conversation. And so if those conversations are not had, then there's a huge difference. Outside of the similarities, the differences will outweigh those similarities because there's no engagement on understanding one another.
Wow, you know what? That's amazing, Edwin. Because I remember when we first found out about BICEP and what you were doing with the exchange program, and how you take the children over, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, some of the children from Africa have come over as well, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And
Twice.
yeah, and it was like a total culture shock
Yeah.
to them. Talk about when the children from Africa came over.
When the children from Africa came over, it was definitely a culture shock. They have this, it's a very high respect level that they have for adults, and they don't raise their voice. And so us as Americans, we tell the students, you have to speak, you're in America, so you have to speak, but you have to understand these are children that has to speak to adults in a certain tone. So they can't, there's no power within them to raise their voice to a certain tone to be heard, because they are taught that you do not raise your voice at adults. So it was very difficult because we try to get the students to engage, and they're like really whisper, and he was like, no, you have to speak up, but it's not within their culture. And so those were that was a huge challenge, to have them engage with their counterparts and have them engage with, the students. And also, they were on media, and so they're really, soft spoken. And so we have to encourage them to speak up. So if there was any challenge as far as the African students are concerned, is just having just knowing that, hey, I need to raise my voice. I need to have this posture, where for our American students, it was more of having them in front of a camera, just having them, because, they'll be very boisterous on things, but at the same time, they're not privy to being behind the camera or having a mic and being interviewed and being asked all these questions. And so that's what we had to prepare them on both sides. But for our American students, it's a big thing for American students to come to Africa. And so when they arrived, it was just like, boom, everything, all the questions hitting them. They got cameras in their face. They have lights in their face. There's 3 mics. There's phones. And this is not something that they're used to, because they're used to being with their friends, being on their own social media. But you're talking like real live media. You're talking about being on TV and being jitterish on how you speak to adults. And then we prep them on, certain formalities, certain cultures, certain ways to shake hands, certain ways to greet, certain ways not to be disrespectful. Believe it or not, in America, we open doors for the ladies and we let the ladies go first. It's vice versa in Africa, where the man goes first and the women comes after. And I was like, hold up. And the women, she said, no. She says, you're not in America, you're in Africa. The man is the head. He goes first. And I follow behind you. And that took a long time for me, 2 weeks, trying to walk in front of a woman and not open the door. It was a very, very hard thing for me to do.
That alone, I think I'm packing my bags.
I was just going to say, MJ, you packing your bags to go to Africa?
Packing my bag. So, Edwin, I know that the work that you do with Bicep is so incredible. But here's the thing. You have spent your time on platforms surrounded by adults with relationships and things of that nature. Why was it important for you to invest your time, your energy into young people?
Man, I was that young person. So when I wanted to do the documentary, it was a no-brainer for me. It was automatic. I wanted young people to be involved. I wanted to hear what young people thought of our motherland. I wanted to hear what Africans thought of Americans, Black Americans, to be exact. And I just wanted to hear that feedback. And when I was able to hear it, everything was just starting to mesh together. And I was like, we have to do an exchange. And when I said that, I jokingly said it. And I told myself on a trip to Ghana, I wanted to utilize the energy that I was receiving from Ghana, because I showed the film in Ghana. And I said, if I get a good reception in Ghana, I'm going to do the exchange. That was June of 2019. I said that, and I got a great response. I got close to 100 people that I didn't know in Ghana to come see my film. And in doing so, that created the cultural exchange program. Went on Facebook Live and pretty much, say, hey, I want to bring these African kids. That was the most craziest thing I've ever done in my life. I want to raise money. I want to bring these African kids to Miami. Y'all don't know who they are, but I know who they are, and I need the money. And was able to raise $12,000 in 3 days. And so, yeah.
And you know what, Edwin, what about the parents? So these children, you're taking them to Africa. The children in Africa are coming to America. What are the parents thinking? What feedback have you all received from the parents? Are they excited about going? And why do you believe culture exposure is important for that next generation and for the parents to understand that?
I mean, the parents they've been awesome. You get a few parents, in the beginning that may change their mind, based on, what they hear. Maybe someone may be in their ear and be like, Africa. And we've gotten that. We've gotten that on the American side. On the African side, none of them parents are telling their kids not to go to America. But because of those perceptions that they have of the motherland, we've had a few. I have had like 7 kids on the American side only. Parents pull them out. And said, no, I don't want them to go. I changed my mind. Some of them don't even call. They just ignore me. And I've had that happen. And so I feel that, they're really excited. The students are really excited. I think what's really important is for them to engage, to build these type of relationships, because you never know, at 17, just imagine being a 17-year-old meeting an African counterpart, and then 10 years later at age 27, they're business partners.
Right.
And they met at a cultural exchange program where one met in America and the other one met in Africa. Those are the type of relationships that we're building, which is very important because we see it all the time. We're seeing it in today, in 2026, where you see so many Americans, and this is Black Americans, that's moving to Ghana, that's moving to other places in Africa. And you hear, we just spoke about it earlier. I'm sure you guys know a plethora of people, and I do too, and I converse with them all the time. And so just imagine having that opportunity. And I speak to the kids and they still keep in touch with each other. So I'm just waiting for the next big thing from those students as a collective. And they can come back and say, I remember, being part of this exchange. And it was because of the efforts of Edwin Sheppard and the whole board and the whole community in being able to bring us together and being able to have this opportunity. So yeah, it's very, very important. They have these programs for students. BICEP is not, like this untouched thing that no one's ever heard of. They have programs like this here in South Florida, but a lot of these programs are not for Black and brown kids. We have a huge Hispanic and culture here in South Florida. So you hear kids going to Colombia, going to Spain, and learning the Latin culture, but you don't hear of a lot of Black American, African American students having the opportunity to go to Africa and vice versa. That you don't hear of.
Absolutely. Go ahead, MJ. I had another question, but go ahead.
Go ahead, after you.
Why are you rolling your eyes? No, what I was going to say was, I believe what you're doing with the children is giving them options, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when we talk about even balance in the streets and in our schools, this program is giving our children options. It's giving them exposure to a whole nother culture, a whole nother mindset. So it's telling them, you know what, I don't have to do X, Y, and Z because I've already been exposed to this. And maybe I should try this way instead of, going the wrong way. And I think sometimes the parents are afraid of the unknown.
Yeah.
Of what may happen. But I believe in giving your children options and letting them see the world, because that's something that I wish that I had early on in life.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I had a life-changing, I won't necessarily say it was life-changing at the time, but looking back at it, it was life-changing for me. And I think for these kids, they won't see the value of BICEP until they're a lot older and they've experienced some things. But a trip to Atlanta, my senior year in high school, leaving Florida for the first time, going on a bus, on a charter bus. I raised money with Krispy Kreme donuts to pay for my trip to Atlanta. And Atlanta in the 90s was everything, so being a high school kid and going to South DeKalb Mall, going to, visiting the universities, Morris Brown, Spelman, Morehouse, going to the Herndon home, the richest the first Black millionaire in Atlanta. I remember all of that stuff. I remember that trip, every detail of that trip. And I remember how impactful it was going to Dr. King's gravesite, going to Dr. King's gravesite when it was just Dr. King and Coretta was still alive, and now, being an adult and seeing both there, and I have pictures of being in front of that gravesite when it was just King, and now, later on his wife is next to him. So those type of things. So I can only imagine me at my age being able to recall a lot of things that I experienced, and just imagine those kids, some of them on both ends, going on a plane for the first time, eating different food, seeing kids that look like them but can speak a different language, being able to engage and have conversation. It's everything.
Wow.
Family and friends, if you're just tuning in, thank you so much. It's Conversations with Them Too. I'm MJ. She is.
Lady Des.
And we have the director of Bicep, filmmaker, the man, the historian himself, Mr. Edwin Sheppard. We're going to jump over to the comments. Good evening, Cheryl, sending you greetings from Miami Central Senior High. PTSA is in the building.
All right.
Cynthia says, good evening. Great job, Edwin. You were talking a little bit about the transformations. Tell me a little bit firsthand about a transformation you've seen in an American student after returning home to the motherland.
The one that speaks out to me the most is Jarvis Jones. He was one of my quirky kids. Remember, I mentioned the cancellation, so he was able to come. He was the last one able to come in, and so we literally had to get his passport within 1 week prior to leaving.
Wow.
And I had my my doubts of the young man at the time, because he was just he was just one of those kids. He was just one of those quirky kids. Like, he was a little goofy, to say the least. But that trip, it was his first time on a plane. It was his first time, traveling. And just imagine your first time on a plane and your first trip is to Africa. You're not going to New York, D.C., to Carolina. You're going to Africa for your first time. And seeing the transition, like he went from boy to man in just like a year. And that trip inspired him so much. I seen the change that he left that was his junior year, going in, coming back as a senior. He ended up going on a trip with Big Brothers Big Sisters to Spain. He ended up becoming, he put himself, his whole, he was encouraged. He just built this whole courage, to do things. And he was a band. He was just a regular band member. He ended up becoming the drum major and section leader for the band. And right now, he's also a 5,000 role model. And right now, he's studying mechanical engineering at FIU University. And now I just see this boy where, he had all these pimples, he wore these glasses, and now he's like this man, this handsome young man without the glasses. He has his contacts, and just the picture that I have with him in Africa and the picture that I took with him recently is night and day. And I'm like, man, I'm just so proud of you. And when I call him, that's the most important thing that I tell all the students on both ends. I say the only thing that I want from you guys is to give back. That's the only thing. Give back to your community, give back to Bicep. It doesn't have to be monetary. If I call you and I need you to speak to these new students or to be here to engage in some way, shape, or form, I need you. And I haven't had a student tell me no. If they can make it, they'll be there. And so he's one of those students that I will call, and he's there. I'm there, Mr. Sheppard. These new students that's traveling next month. I called Sanaya Bethune, who's a student at Florida A&M University. She was there on spring break, and she was right there front and center to speak to our new kids. And for her to be able to say, I was you back in 2022, and now here I am to speak to you about you. And they were so engaging with that, and that's all I ask from them.
Edwin, I love this. I'm loving the conversation. I'm loving the outcome of what's happening when these children are exposed. And like I said before, options. Give them options. Expose them to other things. And for all the parents, educators, don't count your children out. Don't count them out. But put them in these programs. Let them be a part to where they can travel, they can be exposed to great things, because you never know how it'll change their mindset, just like Jarvis Jones and so many others that, had an awakening through this program. So, Edwin, how can our viewers support the work that you're doing through Bicep and your community initiatives?
Well, there's multiple ways that you can support Bicep. We have a lot of events going on, and so this may be a lot, so I'm going to try and get through it because it's a lot, because we leave next month. We have 38 days. We're not where we need to be financially to take care of everything. And this has been the hardest. This has been the hardest one by far. So we do need the support of the community because with our current administration and with budget cuts and high fuel costs, it has definitely set us back a great deal. So I'll keep it 100, everyone. We're really, really struggling trying to get in these funds, but I've made a promise not to let these students down. And so I'm going to be firm on my promise to make sure that happens. So if by all social medias or websites or whatever you want to call it, you can support on our website at bicep.org via PayPal. You can also support on our Cash App, which is Bicep, the $ BISCEP. And we have a Zephy link that you can probably look up in social media land where you can donate. And that's to no extra cost if you donate through the Zephy link. And we have 3 events that's going on as fundraisers. Our next event will be May the 29th, which is Friday, the last Friday of the month. We will be at the Roots Bookstore at 6610 Northwest 15th Avenue. That's a poetry showcase that we're having. We have a HBO, VH1, BET poet, Everell Green, coming from Chicago for that poetry show. So please make sure you can look it up on Zephy. You should be able to find it, or you could just follow me on social media. It's off the top of my head. We have a karaoke event at Gigi's Cafe in Sunrise on Tuesday, June the 2nd. And we have our send-off party, which you guys really need to be there. That is going to be on June 19th, at the Duns Josephine in Miami in Overtown. And so these are all fundraisers. Every little bit counts. Every money that goes in to the Bicep goes straight to the students' experience. This is airlines, this is airfare, meals, field trips, you name it. That's what it goes to. And we really, really, really need the help. I'm trying to work this whole law of large numbers and reach out to as many people as we can. Because we're really in dire straits of trying to get these funds in at a decent amount of time to make sure that we're able to take care of certain things. So it has been a challenge. I haven't gotten much sleep, and I've been back and forth. I'm making a lot of phone calls and calling out a lot of people, and our board has been working tirelessly to make some things happen. So we do need help. We want the churches to get involved. We've only had 2 churches donate to our cause. We just recently had our first new church that has donated. I wonder if I could give them a shout out, if that's okay.
Yes.
That is Antioch Missionary Baptist Church of Brownsville have made a contribution. So we're looking to a lot, because we feel that if the churches can, donate, and this is the churches as a collective, because we're all a community, and I would really would like for the community to look at these students as just the community, because I've been getting a lot of I've been getting a lot of pushback because the kids don't live in that area. These are central kids. And so, some people will not donate. Some entities won't donate because they're in a certain region. They're in a certain district. They're in unincorporated Miami-Dade County. They're not in city of Miami. They're not in Miami Gardens. They're not in Hialeah. And so it's not like that these students, it's not like there's a whole bunch of programs and there's kids all over from different neighborhoods that's going. This is just a group of 10 kids right here in Miami-Dade County that's going to Africa. And and how hard is it to put $500 down? How hard is it to reach out to another organization and say, hey, we're going to help these kids go to Africa. Can you match that? And right now it's really like pulling teeth. So it has been a really big challenge for us, but I'm very optimistic.
Well, let me give you flowers right now, because E. Francois says it's great to have someone like you with a passion working with our future leaders of tomorrow. And I definitely second that.
Thank you.
Absolutely, MJ. And listen, everybody, if you're in here, we need you all to share this live. We need you all to tell somebody else, because as a community, we can do this together. We can do this together. We need to unify. Like all other cultures are unified and doing their thing. Let us do it for our children. Okay. Let us expose them. Let us give them options. It's so easy for us to complain about what they're not doing. Let us give them options. Let us help them out and send them to be exposed to other cultures, Africa, and see, just look, take a chance, see what it will do for them. We need your help. Edwin and the whole entire bicep need your help, ladies and gentlemen. And there may be one out there that can do it all at once. I don't
Yeah.
know. We're
Hey, listen.
Yeah, we're
I
asking.
I I hear it, but I we haven't seen it, unfortunately.
Yeah,
And
and
so,
so this is for our children.
mhm.
This is definitely for our children. I am going to definitely donate, and but it just takes a collective of us doing this for our children. And like he said, this is not being done in the Black and brown community. So please let us support this organization, Bicep. They have been doing an awesome job, and he has been consistent over the years since I have connected with him. I met him through MJ, and he has been consistent with this program. And he brought some of the children over. The children were there. Listen, it has definitely been a life changing experience for the children.
And let me just say, maybe you're on the fence. Maybe you're one of the ones that's thinking about giving. Listen, times are hard for all of us. And we know that, and we definitely acknowledge that we are in a time right now where things are uncertain. But if you have the means to donate, no amount is too small. Whatever you're thinking, whatever you can spare, if you can spare it, go ahead and donate to Bicep to make sure that our kids get the opportunity to see another part of the world that's not portrayed in a positive light when we look at TV. So if you have the opportunity to donate to Bicep, do that, because the kids will definitely have a life-changing experience. That I can say. And success can look glamorous on the outside, but there's normally a sacrifice. And
Yes.
that is something that people don't see. So, Edwin, if you would, what's something that we don't see about your journey? The late night staying up, the phone calls, and the last minute beating of the head, trying to make sure every kid gets on the plane. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh man, it's a lot, brother. It's really a lot. There's a lot of I have to give a shout out to my treasurer, Darilee. I don't know where I would be without her, because she's been holding me down. My whole board's been holding me down, but I have to speak to her because me and her engage the most. And so and because I've known her so long, we have this relationship where we're arguing, we're going over things, and I that's what a lot of people don't see, the arguments, the discussions, because it's a lot. She's the money person, so if I want to spend something on something, she'll say no. If we're not making phone calls at a certain time, I think the most frustrating for me is reaching out to people and not getting a call back. We I can accept a no. I can accept a no, I can accept a yes, I can accept a maybe. But one thing, and I'll be straight up, that I can't accept is no communication. I find it rather disrespectful. I find it, if you can't donate, you're not hurting our feelings whatsoever. We just want an answer, whether it's a positive, or we don't look at negative answers. We just look at it as that's an opportunity that's just not there for that moment. And so those are some of the things that we deal with. just putting things together, the late nights. This is another one, the engagement with our African counterparts. So we have these meetings where we have to engage with like the whole school, and so we have to engage with them at the beginning of their day. So it's customary that when you have your Zoom calls or whatnot at 9 o'clock. Keep in mind, 9 a.m. their time is 3 a.m. our time. So I have to set my alarm at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. to wake up, to splash water on my face and to put on a shirt and get behind where I'm going to get behind the camera or just get on the phone and try to be up. A lot of deposits are made behind the scenes, with the airlines and stuff like that. And we have to be up at their time. And we have to engage with all of these conversations within their work day, which is the time that everyone is asleep. And so that's the behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know about, when I come to work and my eyes and they're like, what's going on? I was on the 3 a.m. Zoom call with, South African Airlines, because we need to make this deposit, or with the hotel and stuff like that. So those are the hard parts, and to get information at a certain time, our time, and have to wait until tomorrow because their work day is over. So it's 2 o'clock our time. We get all the information that's required for us, but yet it's 7 p.m. in Africa. And so they're going to sleep, they're having dinner. So those are the behind the scene things that's really, really challenging, just getting up during those nights and having those conversations, and then trying to go back to sleep, and then waking up to start your day and going back and forth. So it's a lot. It's really a lot. And the only time I'm able to say this is when I'm asked this in platforms like this. But it's a lot that goes on, just a lot of conversation, a lot of back and forth, a lot of emails. We recently had two of our board members who had to step down. One was able. Big shout out to Chandra Burst, who is the alumni president for Miami Central Rockets Alumni Association, and she served as our vice president for BICEP. But now she's doing some big things, and so she needed that leeway to step down. And so that's a huge hit. Our secretary had to step down because her grandmother is ill, and now she's taking care of her grandmother. So she had to move her grandmother from Miami Gardens to Orlando. And so now I don't have anyone to make the phone calls, to send the emails. So I'm up, sending emails from the time that I get home during a busy work day all the way up until 2 a.m. God forbid if I have to have a call at 3 a.m. And so these are a lot of the behind the scenes that no one doesn't know until hearing now. And so when BICEP comes to be and the kids leave and we're taking the pictures and it looks so beautiful and you see the students and the educators and all us having a great time, the behind the scenes stress they know, and they're not supposed to see.
Right.
But it is very, very stressful. It's definitely a labor of love, because seeing those students have that experience is everything.
Yes. And Edwin, can you repeat all of the financial information, how they can give through Facebook or your website, Cash App,
Yes,
Venmo,
yes.
Zelle, if you have that, because we have people that are asking.
Okay, so I'll repeat it real slow, and I'll start with Zelle, since I didn't mention Zelle. So you can donate through Zelle, and it is E Sheppard, the letter E, and Sheppard. That's my last name. That's SHEPP as in Paul, ARD, at bicep.org. And I'll repeat that. That's E Sheppard, SHEPPARD, at bicep. That's BISCEP.org. They can also do Cash App, which is the $, and BISCEP. They can also, then that's through our PayPal. We have a Zephy link that we can probably put. I think there's a few board members that's viewing live, so they can probably put that link on the streaming. And there is also, I'm probably missing one more because my mind is so fried right now because everything that I have going on. But yes, those are the main links that they can go through, our website, Zelle, and also Cash App. And they can also attend the events. The events will be great. So, once again, that's what we have. But we have a lot going on. We're trying to reach out. Once again, we're trying to reach out to a lot of people and asking for a little bit of money. So if we can get churches to donate at least 1,000, that's what we're asking. If we can get 30 churches, and I know we have 30 churches here in South Florida, if we could get 30 churches to donate $1,000, that's half the program. That's half the expense, and so it's really not a lot of our ask if we're able to. I don't know, Des or MJ, if this is something that you guys are willing to assist for us to reach out to certain churches. If maybe as a collective we can get together, I can write something up. But we're in grind mode. We have to pay for our flight next week, Tuesday, in full. We also have to pay for our hotels, which is 2, because we're staying in Harare, which is the capital city, and we have a surprise trip for them to Victoria Falls. And so it's a lot. And so I know this money can be raised because I know the money is out there, and our ask is not a large ask. I'm not asking, one entity to cover $30,000. But as a community, as a collective, we know so many people. It shouldn't be that hard if they really want to see these kids experience that. And I'm happy to say after this program, we will be, for the first time, reaching out to other schools in Miami-Dade and Broward County. So yes, so we are looking. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, that's fine.
So you're saying the budget for this entire trip for 10 children to go over to Africa is $30,000.
No, it's not. It's $65,000. My treasurer tell me 70, but it's 65, because we don't only cover for the students. We also cover for the chaperones, the educators. So we cover. This is a sponsored trip for 10 students and 4 educators. That's including the principal, assistant principal, and two educators from Miami Central Senior High.
Awesome. So I just wanted to put that number out there.
Yeah.
For those who are listening, they have an idea of how much this costs.
Yeah.
And
65,000.
And just think about it. You're investing and you're changing a life of a child. You're giving a child an option to do something else, to think differently. You never know how it will affect their life and their future. So let us all come together collectively as a community and help raise this money. There's no amount too big, no amount too small, like MJ said. Every little bit helps and get Bicep closer to the goal. You know what, Edwin? Tonight's conversation definitely has truly been inspiring. And I thank you for sharing your heart.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you for being transparent,
sharing
your journey.
I wanted to be very transparent.
Yes. And authenticity is everything.
Thank you.
Because that's how people know what's really going on.
Yeah.
And you have been sowing and pouring into the life of these children for years. And we just want to thank you for your commitment to changing lives through culture, storytelling, and education.
Thank you. There is one event that I did not mention. I don't know if I can mention.
Go right ahead.
I can mention. So that we're raffling off 4 tickets to the R&B concert in Detroit, Michigan. These are 4 VIP tickets. They're worth $6,000, and we're raffling it off at $100. So the raffle will the announcement of the winner will be made um, at our Juneteenth. And once again, this is 4 VIP tickets with all the works and shebangs in Detroit, Michigan. I think the concert is on Thursday, July the 2nd, if I'm not mistaken, or the 3rd, either the 2nd or 3rd. It's one of those days. It's before the 4th of July because the 4th of July lands on a Saturday. So I think it's Thursday, July the 2nd in Detroit, Michigan at Ford Field. We're raffling off tickets to the R&B concert. These tickets are VIP tickets that's already paid for. We already have the tickets. They're worth $6,000. And we have $100 raffle. So if anyone is interested in purchasing a raffle, they can reach out to me. There is a link that you can purchase, and we are making a drawing for those who would like to travel to the Motor City of Detroit, Michigan. One of our board members, Ms. Kelly Wright, is spearheading that raffle for our organization.
Family, you heard it here first. We're raffling off 2 tickets to Detroit with 2 chaperones. No, just kidding. We're raffling off 4 tickets to Detroit to benefit Bicep. So, Edwin, I just want to say, man, we appreciate everything you're doing to build bridges and create opportunities for future generations. I want you to continue to keep making history happen, my brother.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's been a great opportunity to be with you guys. I look forward to being live with you guys from Africa. So
Yes.
we are going to make that happen. And so,
Yes, let's do it.
so thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. And hopefully I get to see you guys at one of the events, especially the Juneteenth, because I really want you to meet the students and be part of that whole thing. It's going to be really, really nice.
Beautiful. Family, let's make sure we follow Edwin Sheppard and let us support Bicep and learn more about Bicep and what they do for the students and how we can support them. Now, in the comments, I posted the Zelle, Cash App, and the website where you can go and donate. So let us please follow Edwin. If you have any questions, you can reach out to myself or MJ, and we'll make sure that Edwin gets your request, whatever that information is, and vice versa. Edwin, I don't know if you want us to give out the number or whatnot, but
yeah, they can take my number. I mean, it's all over. I get calls from people wanting to buy the house. So yeah, sure, my number's all right.
Okay.
Yeah, you can put my number. It's fine. It's fine. They can text me. They can call. It's okay. It's fine. My number's out there. So, I can put the number. It's 305-975-1797. I'm real easy to reach out via text. So if anyone would like to support, if anyone would like to do any type of collaboration of helping us fundraise, we do need the help. So we are asking. So once again, it's 305-975-1797.
All right, family, don't forget.
Yep.
Family, don't forget to follow Conversations with Them Too, the Shenanigans Crew on Facebook and YouTube for more authentic conversations, great energy, and just like you see my brother Edwin Sheppard, we've always got unforgettable guests. So we want to make sure that you also support and follow our book, You Are the Stage, because your voice, your story, and we're trying to let you know your purpose matter. So family, yes. Edwin, thank you once again. Until next Monday at 8:00 in the PM, when we do this all over again, we bid you guys love, we bid you peace, and Des, get off the stage.
I'm leaving. Thank you, Edwin. We appreciate you.
Thanks, no problem. Everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.